Honestly, when it was first announced that Megan was preparing to release her own documentary, I was initially very confused why, because frankly, I thought she was way too soon into her career to have one. But then I realized that Megan has had one of the most tumultuous and darkest first few years in the music industry compared to any other artist. Megan has unfairly suffered through cyberbullying, misogynoir, becoming an orphan so early in her life, compounded with years of negative and hateful commentary from illegitimate social media journalists and critics who were looking for any and every reason to not like Megan. First off, the animation elements was absolutely incredible as it immediately personalized the documentary to make it uniquely Megan with her beloved anime aesthetic. The editing really set the tone for the heartfelt narration and storytelling instantly, especially in the beginning when Megan was describing how much her mother inspired her to start rapping. Her mother, Holly Thomas, who went by the stage name Hollywood, was an integral person in Megan's life, so much so that she wanted to be just like her growing up as she watched her mother gracefully carry herself and write her rhymes as a rapper. When Megan's dad passed away when she was in the 9th grade, Megan wanted to be strong for her mom, which later motivated Megan to use her stage name, Megan Thee Stallion, as an alter ego and a persona for her strength. As Megan grew more in love with rapping, she wanted to honor her mother with the passing of the torch as Megan began to take rapping more seriously. Seeing all of the behind-the-scenes clips of Megan's mother being so hands-on and encouraging as a momager was so emotional and satisfying to watch because it shows how much confidence and love Holly instilled into Megan. When you have someone like that in your life who was so nurturing and loving, watching the next scene of Megan detailing her mother's illness and eventual demise was heartbreaking. Like, you guys, Megan was only 24 when she lost her mother in 2019, and she later lost her grandmother within the same month. That is a lot for someone, especially an only child, to deal with, especially when they're experiencing a career breakthrough at the same time. As a side note, I would never forget the first time I heard Big Ol' Freak. That was my introduction to Megan, and that song sounded so refreshing back then and still does to this day. Fast forward to 2020, that year was already chaotic enough with COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement, but despite Megan basking in the success of earning her first #1 song in the country with Beyonce, Megan described 2020 as the worst year of her life, as she soon found herself becoming public enemy #1 when she became the victim of a shooting by someone whom she considered a friend at the time, rapper Tory Lanez. This entire ordeal was honestly a disgrace from so many different angles, and I am glad Megan fought back by highlighting all of the online content creators, streamers, podcasters, and fellow musicians and celebrities who all played a huge part in the character assassination of Megan. People ranging from Diddy, who proudly told Tory on his Instagram Live that he was a fan of his music and admitted that he is also someone who has a temper, to LeBron James, who was conveniently blasting Tory Lanez music in his car, to Chris Brown, which, I mean, is far from a surprise for obvious reasons, who said on the Adam Ross Twitch stream to free Tory and adding that Tory's a solid dude, to Jerry, DJ Academics, prematurely announcing on his Twitter page alleging that it was revealed that in Tory's pre-trial motion that Tory Lanez's DNA was not found on the weapon in the Megan Thee Stallion case. Megan immediately responded to Academics' post by saying, "Court ain't even started yet, so why y'all ready to start lying? Y'all got breaking news 15 minutes before court started and nobody has even been called in yet. Y'all trying to win a social media campaign, but this is my real life. Y'all trying to get retweets spreading false narratives. Academics, why are you lying? What did you gain?" Academics then responded by saying, "You so bother over tweeting out facts about Tory case. Go ask the DA. DNA results were submitted in discovery. Why you care so much what the internet says? Oh, I know. You've been living off a narrative, and it's sad you made it where if Tory don't go to jail, you don't win." As well as Joe Budden, who boldly stated how much he does not like Megan and initially doubted whether she was telling the truth, before later apologizing for his insensitive comments.
Like, I stand in my dislike with a girl. So let me be clear to the audience, that has nothing to do with this case or Tory Lanez. For me personally, I've seen this woman do horrible things to some really great people that I have long-standing relationships with in this industry. So I'm biased. Like, you can't just treat my friends and people I fuck with and people I've seen in this game for 15 years a certain way.
As well as Megan's former collaborator, DaBaby, who in 2021 shocked music fans when he hopped on a song titled Scat with Tory Lanez, and even doubled down by bringing Tory out on his Rolling Loud performance set.
I'll get somebody out here $1 million if they can guess who in here. Y'all make some motherfucking noise for Tory Lanez.
thought that you could pass me up in a mask. You was just trying to show me we could do whatever we want to do.
Naturally, social media was set on fire, in which DaBaby said he has enough of his own problems to inherit the next person's problems. He wanted to respond to Megan on Twitter by saying, "You don't let these folks get the best of you, thug. I don't got no bad energy for you. You know I ain't no industry dude. Let them fool you into thinking that you tripping. Stand on what you stand on without feeling like I'm against you. Stay focused, my G." In which Megan responded by saying, "My stance hasn't changed at all. Yours has. We already spoke about this in private. You specifically said that ain't even no good business move. Why would I promote that ish? But now this ain't your beef. That ain't real, but you stay on your business, my G." In addition to these men, Drake decided to, unsurprisingly, join the bandwagon of men who despised Megan by throwing jabs at Megan in his song Circo Loco by claiming that she was lying about being shot. All of these people, plus the millions of other people online, falsely and unjustifiably villainizing Megan when she was never pressing charges against Tory. It was and still is unbelievably insane to me how people keep overlooking the fact that Megan initially lied to protect Tory and make the whole situation go away. But once the doctors discovered the bullet fragments in her foot, the truth was inevitably going to be revealed. Especially after a mere 2 months after the shooting, when Tory released an album containing lyrics denying the shooting and made claims that he was being framed despite him and his team launching a smear campaign against Megan. Megan's lawyer said that there was manipulated text messages and emails being sent to media companies to paint Megan in a dishonest light. As we reached 2022, Megan took part in a highly anticipated interview with Gayle King, in which the part that received the most discourse was when Gayle asked Megan if she had a sexually intimate relationship with Tory, in which Megan said no. This aspect of their relationship was later brought up in court, in which Megan later admitted that they did indeed sleep together when she testified that, "I'm embarrassed because I'm a grown woman hanging with people I have no business hanging out with. Now look at how everybody wants to view me. How could I share my body with someone who would shoot me? Now every week there's an article calling me a hoe." In the documentary, Megan admitted that she lied to Gayle because Megan was under the impression that the line of questioning in the interview would be solely about the shooting. She was caught off guard and confused because sleeping with someone has nothing to do with being the victim of a crime, and publicly admitting that she slept with Tory would distract from the severity of the crime and add unnecessary salaciousness when the focus should be on Megan getting justice for being shot. I saw this one tweet that said, "Something that's being missed about the Megan Tory situation, if you carelessly handle a weapon and accidentally shoot someone, you still shot them. That's really it. Even if it wasn't your intent, you go to jail." Throughout watching this portion of the documentary, it told me so many things. This whole situation only happened a few years ago, and so many of the people who disparage Megan clearly don't realize that intimate partner violence is a thing. And it's a common experience that an average of 1 in 3 women go through. I also realized how isolated Megan felt. It was one thing to read her testimony in which she highlighted how disgusted she felt with herself and how her boyfriend at the time was embarrassed, and also how she did not want to live anymore. But seeing the loneliness and sadness during this time period was heartbreaking. What makes the situation even 100 times worse was seeing the immediate breakdown of Megan and Kelsey's friendship. Kelsey was undeniably disloyal, and it is sad to witness all those clips of Kelsey being present after Megan's mom passing and her stepping into the role as a personal assistant to completely betraying Megan and not once defending her to the public. The call from Tory to Kelsey from jail was really nasty work, and there is no way to really defend it. While anticipating the trial to start and end, I was exhausted just watching Megan. She was literally all gas, no brakes throughout 2021 to 2022, and even though she was giving her all in rehearsals and performances, you could literally see the spark and soul leave her eyes and see the sadness and depression taking over. In her private time, where she's supposed to be comfortable and at peace, Megan was constantly on edge and begging for time off in her schedule to just decompress because every time she stepped outside, she said she felt like the whole world hated her. That is a very heavy burden to carry, and literally anybody would fold if they were in Megan's position. I know people love to complain that Megan makes the same music over and over again, but Trombazine will forever be my favorite album from her because it still remains her most introspective and versatile album. Megan addressed so many real and honest topics rarely discussed from a female rapper, and instead of complaining to the internet, Megan poured her heart out in her music. Thankfully, Tory ended up being found guilty of all 3 charges and inevitably sentenced to 10 years in prison. Seeing Megan cry tears of joy when the verdict came in was heartwarming because I could see the unbearable weight finally being lifted off of Megan's shoulders. At one point, Megan said, "If my mom was here, I wouldn't be going through this." And I think we all need to sit with that statement for a moment. This woman practically has no immediate family members and was battling grief and stardom simultaneously. Everyone handles grief differently, and I am glad Megan took accountability and admitted that she recklessly drank and slept around, which led to very poor decision making. Like this other person said, y'all give grace to everybody except Megan Thee Stallion because she's a black woman. Chris Brown can be given grace because he was young, right? Y'all still giving Kanye grace for everything because he's lost his mama years ago. Y'all giving Diddy grace claiming he's just a freaky dude. It's like all of these deplorable men can do whatever and still be given all of the excuses in the world. But Megan, who has made mistakes during her young adult years while grieving her mother, is not allowed that same grace. It's mind-boggling, but not surprising. What matters now is that Megan was able to go on her well-deserved month-long mental wellness retreat and has gotten more serious about her fitness journey in the months following. If anyone follows Megan on Instagram, you can see how incredible she looks, and her breakthrough and success that has followed is a testament to her resilience and courageousness to overcome all the literal and figurative weapons that have tried to form against her. Overall, this is one of the best documentaries I have seen in a long time. And y'all, I watch a lot of documentaries. It was executed so perfectly and featured a lot of vulnerable and personal moments that I did not expect Megan to share. Like a phoenix, Megan rose from the ashes and was able to make all of the pick-me's, the doubters, critics, and haters eat their words while their faith sits in federal prison for a decade. I do find it interesting how there is literally no mention of her ex-boyfriend Pardison Fontaine, who made a whole dramatic moment of his relationship with Megan with his song titled The Person, or no mention of Nicki Minaj, in which she was featured on Megan's trademark hit song Hot Girl Summer, and for the fact that the two are beefing for some odd reason unbeknownst to Megan. Regardless, this is still a top tier documentary. Let me know in the comments what you all think of the Megan Thee Stallion documentary in her words if you watched it. Do you think we were able to see a different side of Megan, or do you think the documentary did not really change your mind of how you already felt about her? Were people justified with their commentary about Megan during the height of the Tory Lanez saga, or was it unnecessarily harsh? What do you think is next for Megan in this next stage of her career? What do you think about her recent music? Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you next time.